Yes, I know. Super Smash Bros. Is the ultimate gaming crossover, but why should this be the only time we see certain worlds get together? I think you know where I'm going with this. Let's see more crossovers. Let's think beyond Super Smash Bros. Let's talk about it. And more importantly though, let's have fun. Super Smash Bros. Gains a lot of its draw by not only being a good fighting game period on its own, see, Mario mains all day, but by also including lovable characters from Nintendo and nowadays all across gaming. But why should this just be it? This video is for the pie in the sky dreamers among you. I ask you to use your imagination. What would your ideal crossover between a few of these worlds be? But again, I want to set some sort of parameter. Within Smash Bros., how many crossovers could you make and why would you make them? Be sure to let me know all that in the comments below, and also be sure to like this video if you do. Just to let me know that you like this kind of concept as far as crossovers and you wouldn't mind seeing more content like this in the future. You know, two worlds that always kind of made sense coming together for me were Fire Emblem and the Legend of Zelda series. And by the way, this is purely surface level reasoning. Battles are fought with swords, arrows, magic, etc. Look, stop me if I'm sounding crazy, but guess what? You're not going to stop me because this would be actually cool. And I think in all actuality, I could envision this working. Legend of Zelda protagonist Link has already had a history in fitting well into different types of series like Soul Calibur, Hyrule Warriors is a thing, and oh look, Mario Kart. Fire Emblem is less flexible, however, but oh look, Fire Emblem Warriors. In a crossover, it's important to feel like an even blend of ideas and callbacks to both series involved. In Super Smash Bros., characters like Inkling, Snake, and my new favorite, Joker, feel so much like the series they come from, you walk away saying, yes, my series was well represented here and this is a perfect crossover. So where would that leave us in terms of Fire Emblem and Zelda coming together? Well, in these two respective worlds, both involve kingdoms and both have different hierarchies as far as different families and so on and so forth. Although to be fair, Fire Emblem digs into that way more. And with Legend of Zelda, it's more of a lineage type of thing. For this, even though admittedly it's a plot device that's used a lot throughout media. Time travel, we've seen this before with Fire Emblem Awakening, where Lucina goes back in time in order to help her father Chrom, and oh sorry, spoilers. And tell me Legend of Zelda isn't just one big time paradox loop thing. We know this thing, alright? So I think these coming together in that way would kind of make sense. Since Fire Emblem differs from title to title in terms of characters, world, and therefore scale, it will be a lot simpler then to create these around the crossover in mind and place these ideas rather than taking what already exists and then bending it to fit, because then you'll get those people who go, how the heck did Roy end up in Hyrule? This doesn't make any sense, as if anything I'm saying would be canon anyways. Calm down. But going along with the plot I said earlier, somehow Link ends up in another kingdom through time travel. With this gate being opened, mercenaries and other powerful families from this Fire Emblem world would end up in Hyrule and try to take it over. Look, this isn't the most groundbreaking of ideas, I know, but this would at the very least set things in motion for Link to do something and team up with allies from this world, because this would also threaten their way of life as well. I imagine gameplay to be a perfect blend between these two worlds as well, still keeping the strategy elements from Fire Emblem, you know, placing allies on a grid and moving them accordingly, while also bringing lifeblood and true-to-life mechanics from each series as well into this game. And what I mean by that is, in the Fire Emblem series, weapons do better than other weapons. For example, swords do better against lances, lances do better than axes. I might not have the exact correlation right, but you guys understand what I'm saying. We should still bring this element into this crossover as well. As far as a mechanic we could add from the Legend of Zelda series that would add another layer of strategy on top of what we already have is the break mechanic. In games like Fire Emblem Gaiden and Fates, there's no break mechanic. You don't have to worry about your weapons breaking, but in this game, you would. Adding on top of weapons doing better than certain ones, if they break, then you're just SOL. Combat would be real time, but only to a degree. Yes, you can move your character around freely, but at the same time, there is still a mechanic of waiting involved, kind of like a chrono trigger in some regard. You know, another through line between the Legend of Zelda series and the Fire Emblem series is that they always want you to be in the driver's seat. As we all know, that's why Link doesn't say a word. The game developers want you to embody Link, and they want you to be Link. Likewise, in Fire Emblem, you just straight up create your own character. I think between the two, I would go the Fire Emblem route for this game. We've never seen a character creator in The Legend of Zelda, and that would be cool to see this being put into that realm as well. Think about how cool it would be to decide whether you're from the Hyrulean part of this world or from the Fire Emblem part of this crossover. You could then create your own character in each realm. Imagine being able to put the cosmetics of that world into your character, meaning you have an armor piece that has a Triforce on it, you have the hair of Link, but you have a different cloak or something like that. Or if you're from the Fire Emblem part of the crossover, you have your kingdom's logo on your cape or what have you. Or you could have a mixture of both. That would be so awesome to see this incorporated in a way that we've never seen it before in The Legend of Zelda. And by the way, I would actually like an actual character creator, not a preset that we could cycle between, like was the case for like every Fire Emblem character creator. I want to see a Mass Effect type of character creator, but one that's actually in depth, not one that looks gross and hideous. Personally, I like games where I am the main character. No, it's not a narcissist thing, I promise. But it just makes the experience feel more personal. You feel more connected to it in that way. And I just love that. And I would not like to see that being taken away at all. I don't want to be an expressionless, stone-faced tactician that just tells people where to go. I want to fight beside Link, Chrom, whoever these new characters are in the Fire Emblem part, and that would be so cool to see. Wouldn't you guys agree? Gear and items would also have stats beyond their appeal of just looking cool, and depending upon where you're from, your clothes at startup would change, and obviously, therefore, as a result, their stats would obviously differ. But let's take it one step further. Say you decide to make a character from Hyrule, right? Instead of the Fire Emblem world. Alright then, if that's the case, then your character is going to prefer to use more bombs and boomerangs in combat. Because if Smash Brothers will teach you anything, bombs and boomerangs are what Links like to use. Conversely, if you're from Fire Emblem, then you prefer staffs, lances, weaponry on top of horses, and things of that nature. Oh, and mounts as well, where you can still get a mount in Hyrule, but it's normally just a horse, and that's about it. There's more mounted variations in Fire Emblem. Unless you haven't played any of the games, you would know that, but, I mean, play more Fire Emblem. Hashtag play more Fire Emblem. The Legend of Zelda and Fire Emblem both aren't series that come to mind in terms of multiplayer, outside of a few titles for Zelda, of course, but for the most part, these games are just solo, single-player adventures. I think that maybe together they can come together and solve this issue. Although, admittedly, it's not really an issue, but it'd be cool to have some multiplayer for this crossover, a game of ours that we're creating together through this video, wouldn't it? I should be able to team up with AJ, Parker, or any of you guys and do some of these missions. I mean, come on! Because the more, the merrier. And honestly, this would be a lot more fun if we could do that. Trading items between team members, cycling through different abilities, being able to teach one character an ability that you don't know. All of this would be fine if the game managed to have a cohesive, thought out, and really polished story from start to finish without compromising that with multiplayer. I personally enjoy a good co-op experience, but it wouldn't have to be a necessity for this game for me to like it. That'd just be a cherry on top. What they would have to get right though is the PvP. Destroying your opponent's kingdom or taking over their mini castles throughout the field or just destroying their entire squadron altogether would be the main takeaway for the multiplayer, and that would get me so excited. I'm using my created character and Link on the same field to destroy your Fire Emblem characters or whoever you have on the field. They're not going to stop us. But guys, that's my crossover. What's yours? What characters from Smash Bros. Would you put together to make a whole new game? What would you call it? Where would it take place? What would be the mechanics involved? Let me know this and more in the comments below. Did you guys like my idea? Once again, let me know that by clicking or tapping the like button right there. Did you like my crossover? Is it missing something? Let me know what in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going, guys. I would very much appreciate that. And I also appreciate if you guys checked in every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time for new videos just like this. But the most important thing you guys can do, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications of new videos just like this. You do not want to miss it. New content every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out the podcast every Saturday on Directly to You. Link in the description below. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.